What is up, YouTube? Here we are, day 6. The furthest I've ever made it with 75 hard. Not a huge accomplishment, but hey, still an accomplishment. Day is going great. I am finishing up my second workout of the day just by myself out here because I did the workout this morning at the gym and then waited 4 hours, and now I'm out here running I ran my 3 miles for marathon training, and now I'm just finishing up that 45 minutes with a walk, kind of like a walk-run hybrid for the second one. Been a great day so far. Beautiful day. Been on my macros, kind of just getting in as much protein as I can. I'm probably a little behind right now on the macros just because I have been busy for this afternoon, but the minute I get home from this, I will be eating something because I'm starving right now. But updates other than that, still need to read my book and still need to finish my water for the day and take the picture, obviously. But most of it I know it will get done because I dedicate time to that stuff. But anyway, so what I want to talk about today, had a few good conversations with people over the past day. It's starting to set in a little bit, the challenge of this program. I'm feeling very sore all over. Yesterday's workout was rough, but just getting back up and doing more later that day is kind of draining. It is helping me sleep a little bit better. I kind of just pass out once I hit the rack, which is nice because I'm used to kind of laying there with my thoughts for a while. But I'm honestly almost too tired to think, so I just kind of pass out when I hit the rack for the night. But so there's that benefits. But been talking to some people the past day or a few days. Something came up today while I was talking to a team member on the team that dropped out, which is fine. It's everybody's choice to, you know, continue or not. But she kind of mentioned how something we talked about from day one, which was those you know, those invasive or intrusive thoughts of, you know, eating disorders and unhealthy thoughts that come to mind or might be triggered by this program. And what I really want to say about that, I don't want to get too far into her story and her reasons, because everyone has their own reasons, and that's totally fine. You should be doing this program for yourself, not for anybody else but yourself. But the program is gonna bring something out of you. It might bring up some unresolved trauma or some unresolved part of yourself that you don't like to acknowledge, you know, that you might avoid because it's really hard to deal with, and that's understandable. But what comes to my mind when I think about that is, do you want to always be controlled or live in fear of that thought or that mindset that you might have, or do you want to master it? That's what this is supposed to do. This is supposed to train you not to run 2-a-days all the time and eat super healthy or follow a diet. It's to train you to gain control of every part of yourself. That's why I'm doing it, at least, because I realized over the past few months and years, honestly, that I am not in control of every part of myself. I've been on this kind of path to learn and gain control of all parts of myself. Not eliminate them, because it's almost impossible to eliminate parts of yourself. All we can do is learn to understand all the parts of ourselves, and once we do that, it gives us control of it, which makes us the master of that instead of that the master of us. And that's the ultimate freedom. That is freedom. When you are free from your trained, preconditioned mindsets, you gain freedom from the slavery of that, of what it causes you to do and think and act. And that, to me, is the most valuable thing in my life. I want to have control of myself to that, so I can go and do whatever I want with my life. I don't have to live in fear of all the things that I'm afraid of, you know, all the parts of me that I'm not comfortable with. I don't want to live in fear of them. I don't want to avoid them and not do things because it might bring it out of me. I want it, if it comes up out of me, I want to understand what it is, be able to identify it, and know what to do when it happens. Because that gives me all the control I need. And then it's all my choice. And then your life is yours. It's no longer, you're no longer a slave to your trauma or your mindsets or your, you know, again, your conditioned thoughts. So that came up and I had a talk with her about it. And I just kind of put that seed in her brain. I didn't want to, I'm not pushing anybody to move faster than they feel like they need to. Everybody has a choice to move at their own pace. And that's the last thing I want to do is peer pressure somebody into doing something that they're not ready to do, because that's only going to scare them more and cause more fear and cause more hesitation in their life, which is the total opposite of what I would ever want for anybody. So I really hope, if she's watching this, that you think about these things. I know it's hard. I know it's triggering. I'm being triggered myself a lot of the time with a lot of this shit, you know? It's time for me to stand up and face those things. So again, so I can have control of my life. I'm tired of being controlled by the things that are not real inside my head, or the voices or the friggin', you know, mindsets that tell me that I'm not enough, or I'm not capable of doing that, or I never will be. I'm sick of that shit. I'm done with it. I don't mean I'm not gonna destroy it. It's always gonna be there, but it's time for me to gain control of it and not be controlled by it. So that's my big thought with all of this. Whew, it was a long run, so I'm a little winded, and I just went right out into the walk. But I also wanted to tie in, this might make the video a little longer, I wanted to tie in my Tuesday takeaways from my men's meeting last night. So as some of you might know, I kind of run or lead the Your Life Gym's men's developmental discussion meetings. And I like to try to every Wednesday come out with, you know, the Tuesday takeaways, what I took away or what we all as a group took away from the meeting. Last night's meeting was about sacrifice. And I meant to have my note card with me to kind of, you know, talk about what we all came away with, but it's been a busy afternoon for myself, so I forgot it. But there was one thing that really, well, there's a few things that really stuck out to me, but the one thing that resonated with me, and that I saw within myself when it came to sacrifice is, and I shared with another guy in the group, or a guy brought it up and it kind of brought it out of me, was when we sacrifice and we have expectations from the other people, when we make sacrifices and we expect them to pay us back for that and they don't, it fosters resentment. And resentment is probably one of those things in your life that if left unchecked and unaware, and you're unaware of it, it'll erode every relationship you have. Every single one, it'll destroy it. Because you feel like you're giving and giving and giving, but you're not getting anything back because you have these expectations from others, which you can't control. And it causes you to then start to resent them. And it might start very slowly, and you might have a check on it. I know I do, but it still comes out of me. I still feel myself starting to resent people and things and situations. So it's really hard to not do this, but it's good to be aware of it and just kind of check on it every now and then. But resentment was a big thing that came up last night for myself, at least. Another thing that came up is learning to sacrifice for the right reasons. And the only right reason to sacrifice is for yourself. You should be making sacrifices to improve, to grow. You know, you shouldn't sacrifice yourself for anybody else other than yourself, you know, to become better in whatever it is that you do or who you are. That was a big one that the group kind of collectively came up with. And I think that's great because your life is all about you. No matter who you're, I have kids, you may have a spouse, you may have kids, whatever you have, your life is still for you. And if you're sacrificing for everybody else but not yourself, again, that resentment is gonna kind of build and get worse and then it's gonna erode relationships with your spouse and your family. So make sure when you're sacrificing, when you're making a sacrifice, that you understand that this is for you, and doing it is for you, and it should be for you and your growth. So those are the two big ones that I took away from last night. So I wrapped up this Tuesday takeaways into this YouTube video just because I don't really feel like making 2 videos, honestly. And I just thought it was I like being out here and being able to talk freely like this. But I appreciate you for listening to these and following along on this journey. If you really are enjoying this, please let me know in the comments. Any kind of support helps me a lot to just kind of keep doing it and talk about things. And I appreciate y'all who have been doing that, so thank you for that. If you're new to my channel, if you could give me a subscribe, that would be awesome. If you want to see these every day, because I'm trying to pump them out every day, go ahead and just leave that notifications on so you can get notified when I post. But other than that, day 6 is almost in the books. Tomorrow is day 7. I'm excited. I'm still feeling very motivated. There's parts of me that are like wanting to say, why do I still do this? Why do I keep going? But I know it's for a greater purpose. It's for myself. I'm sacrificing the things that I love to do, you know, the things that I like to have in order to grow. So and you should be too, just remember that. But I hope to see y'all tomorrow. Thank you for all the support. I love y'all, and I will see you tomorrow.